This is the only commercial Zobo recipe that you will ever need. I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step guide on how I made this 26 liters of my fruity commercial Zobo recipe. So stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Susan. I am a baker and a professionally trained pastry chef, and this is where I share all my commercial recipes that my brand has stood for years. So if you're a baker, a small chops vendor, a caterer, or someone who is just coming to the baking and food industry, you want to stay subscribed to this channel. Now on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing how I made this 26 liters of my commercial Zobo recipe. Packaging, labeling, it is a recipe that's no fail, and I'll work for you irrespective of your country, Ghana, South African, even if you're outside in Canada and the like. So let's get started. So first, these are the bottles I got. I got some 35 cl bottles or 350 ml bottles. I got this for 1,100 naira, and I got about 4 dozens. 1,100 naira is for a dozen, so I got about 4 dozens. It comes with covers that has sleeves like this, and the covers can be of any color. Now I also created the stickers myself. I created them on my phone, designed them on my phone, and I did not use Canva. If you want me to share how I created the sticker with the premium app I use, please leave that in the comment section, and I promise you I'm going to share it with the premium app. And this sticker, I printed them on SAV for 300 naira per one. The sticker size is 6x3, and it cost me 300 naira per one. So this as a sticker I used. Next, I went ahead to sterilize my bottles, my bowl, my spatula, my strainer, every utensil I was going to use to work so that it is safe, it is clean. To sterilize them, I just placed the utensils in a bigger bowl, and then I poured in boiling water, and I allowed the water to cook completely before straining out the water and drying it. Now, if your bottles are not of good quality like this, I would advise you to only sterilize in boiling water for about 15 to 20 minutes. The reason is the hot water will end up disfiguring your bottles, because I've worked with several bottle textures and I've discovered this. So if your bottles are not of good quality like this, please allow them stay for 15 to 30 minutes before removing from the hot water and proceeding with your recipe. The ingredients I'm using for my commercial Zobo are hibiscus flour like this. I'm using the smaller ones that they call pieces because it gives you more quantity than the bigger hibiscus flour. Now you need to be patient when using this. You need to pick out the dirt because guys, it's quite dirty, so you need to pick out the dirt. You need to be patient. And I'm making use of these artificial sweeteners, and then I'll also be making use of my cinnamon stick. Please check the description box beneath this video for details of all the items I bought. And also I'm making use of Foster Clark, then my sodium benzoate, and then my ginger. Guys, I do not like scraping off my ginger. This was the best I could do. Then I'm making use of cloves, and then I'm making use of pineapples, cotonou pineapples specifically, because they give you a more sweeter taste. They are more sweet. And I'm making use of cucumber, yes, then one big lemon, and then I'll be making use of my dates that are already soaked overnight. Remove the seed and washed it, and then I'll be making use of watermelon. Please check the description box beneath this video for a link to the detailed recipe, and this is an overview of all the items except water. Now for my water, I'm making 26 liters of my commercial Zobo, but I'm going to measure 30 liters of water. 30 liters of water. The reason is after you finish boiling, your water quantity is going to reduce. That is, your Zobo drink or Zobo juice is going to reduce in quantity, and at the end of the day, you should be ending up with about 27 liters. So you just measure approximately 26 liters. Now for my cloves, I'm going to pound this a little so that by the time it gets into the pot and into the fire, it releases its fragrance on time. So I'm just going to pan it a little, not completely. I'm going to pan it a little. Then I'm going to also pound my ginger a little so it has this rough look. Yes, this is to extract the fragrance on time, and I'll keep them separately because they'll be added into the pot at different intervals. Then I went ahead to blend all my fruits. Now at the process of blending, they took the light, so I had to use my mortar to pound it. So it's okay if you don't have a blender, you can use your mortar to pound this a little. Yes, you can use your mortar to pound this a little, and your commercial Zobo recipe will still come out very, very good. Now check the description box below this video for a link to the detailed written recipe. Now this is how the cloves came out at the end of the day, and this is how the ginger also came out at the end of the day. So the next thing I'm going to do is to wash my Zobo leaves. And this is how I wash my Zobo leaves. I pour them into a strainer, this plastic strainer, and then I scoop out of that 30 liters of water that I have already measured out before, and then I immerse this strainer that is containing the Zobo leaves into the water, and I wash. Now I lift it up, I do that again, and I do not throw this water away. I do not throw this water away. I only strain out this water a little. I strain out the water completely till I remove the sediment under the water, just like this. Yes, you want to retain that color. You don't want to add any artificial coloring. So this is how you're going to retain that color. So this is the first water you're going to first of all use to boil your Zobo. Before you come for me, it is safe. By the time you boil it, it's a safe. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my pot, and I'm going to be adding my Zobo leaves. Then once I've added my Zobo leaf, I'm going to be adding my pineapple peel. Your pineapple, after peeling it, please don't throw away the back. Don't throw away the back. So I'm going to be adding my pineapple peel, and then I'm going to be adding my cinnamon stick and my cloves. All my fruits have been thoroughly washed. Now the reason why I'm referring to the link in the description box below this video is because it contains every question you might want to ask. I've answered them. The recipe is free on a platter of gold, and this is the only commercial Zobo recipe that you will ever need. I promise you that. It's to give you premium Zobo, quality Zobo with a good thickness and a good color. Trust me. So you see me now, I'm going to carry this measuring jug. We usually use measuring jug as bakers. The jug is 1000 ml, which equals to 1 liter. So I'm going to be measuring this into my pot. And then when you are doing this, make sure you're not overfilling your pot. At the end of the day, I went ahead and changed this pot I was using because the pot was actually quite small and I didn't want to waste my time. So I changed the pot and I boiled. Now when you are boiling, you're going to boil in 3 batches. The first batch you're going to boil for 25 to 30 minutes. Second batch do the same thing, and third batch do the same thing. So this first batch, from that 30 liters of water, including the one I use in raising the Zobo, that makes 30 liters. I'm going to measure out some liters, and I'm going to pour it into my pot, and I'm going to use it to boil, the first boiling. And I'm boiling for 25 to 30 minutes. 25 to 30 minutes. And the only item inside this are my Zobo leaf, my pineapple peel, my cinnamon stick, and my cloves. Now you check the description box in this video because I'm going to be sharing with you the amount I use in buying all of these things. Yes, that is the only one that will be in the description box, while the recipe will be in the link in the description box beneath this video. So like I said, do not overcrowd your pot with water. So I later ended up changing my pot, and I used this big basin because the recipe was very large. So once it has completely boiled, once your Zobo has boiled for the first batch, let it boil for only 25 to 30 minutes on medium flames, not too high flames. If you boil it on too high flames, you're rushing the process and not going to help your zobo. So once that's boiled like this, I'm now going to use the same jug. Please be very careful, this is quite hot. I'm going to use the same jug to scoop out the content from this basin into my strainer. Now I'm using a plastic strainer, I'm not using a stainless strainer because while you're working it's going to get hot, so you want to leave it at a plastic strainer. So I'm going to scoop out the entire content of this basin or this pot into my strainer just like this. This is how you want to do it, and then you make sure the content is strained completely. That is the first juice gotten from that zobo leaf is strained completely. Then you will now transfer this shaft back again into the basin, and we're going to do the second boiling. The second boiling now is also going to be for under 25 to 30 minutes on medium flame. If you've ever used firewood to cook, you will notice how the fire heats up the pot. That's the idea you want to have. So you don't want to rush this process. So after you've strained out, you now transfer this shaft back into your pot. I'm going to go in with the second boiling. Now for the second boiling, you are first of all going to add your shaft into your pot. Next, you're going to add your juice, the ones you blended, into the pot, and then you're going to add your ginger into the pot. And then you will now fetch from the remaining 30 liters of water, you will now fetch out more liquid, more water, and pour it into the pot and boil for another 25 to 30 minutes. Please do not exceed 25 to 30 minutes. Do not exceed 25 to 30 minutes. If you overboil your zobo leaves, it's going to become too soft, and no matter how many times you strain with a cheesecloth, you are going to end up having particles, and you do not want that. So don't exceed 25 to 30 minutes. So this is me just adding water into my pot now, and then I will stir this together. I just want to use this moment to say a big thank you to my OGs who have been supporting, viewing, sharing, leaving me comments in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means so much to me. Now to my new viewers who are just watching, or those of you that have been watching that are not yet subscribed, please subscribe, because this is where I share my premium content, and trust me, you do not want to miss any of this, especially if you're a baker, a pastry chef, or a small chops vendor. So this is my second boiled zobo juice, and it's ready. I'm also going to strain out in a basket. Now I'm not using a cheesecloth for this. Now I'm only using this basket to strain out, and then once I've strained out the zobo content, I'm going to pour the shaft again back into the pot, and I'm going to now add the remaining 30 liters of water, and I am going to boil the third batch for another 30 minutes maximum, 25 to 30 minutes on medium flame. So once that was ready, that is, I've done the first, second, third batch of boiling, I'm now going to sieve in my cheesecloth. This my cheesecloth is like chiffon clothes. Yes, I'm going to sieve it, and then I usually double it just to be extra safe. So I'm going to sieve this in my cheesecloth. This is quite hot. I'm doing this when you finish boiling the 3 batches and it's hot. So this is what your zobo, your commercial fruity zobo, should look like. This is beautiful, guys. This is beautiful. Now also the shaft, you also put that in the strainer and allow it strain completely before you strain out the zobo juice completely before you transfer the strained zobo drink into your chiffon cloth or cheesecloth to strain it. That is what how you do the shaft. Now if you've been following my recipes, been following my brand, my pages, you know that number one, I do not use preservative in any of my treats, either my drinks or my cakes or my chops or anything. I make them fresh. But for this, I'm using preservative because I want to teach some of us that are having issues with how do I preserve my zobo and all that. So I allowed my zobo cool for 4 hours. 4 hours if I went ahead to sweeten and to flavor it. To sweeten it, I just scooped out a portion into my jug. I scooped out a portion into my jug, added this Foster Clark. I didn't see the industrial brand, as I'm using this Foster Clark pineapple flavor. And I stirred it well, and I went in to add my sweetener and then my artificial sweetener, and I stirred this well, very well, before I poured it into the larger quantity of my Zobo juice, and then I stirred that up all well. Now, if you want to know how to make Zobo without preservative that has 3 weeks shelf life, also Zobo without artificial sweetener like this, Zobo different brands of different flavors and types of Zobo, how to make Zobo wine, how to make Zobo Chapman and the likes, you will need to sign up for my Zobo master class. Trust me, guys. After you've seen this free recipe, you will know that yes, you need that masterclass. And I'm doing it at a discounted fee for the first 50 people for 3,000 naira only. 3,000 naira only. I also leave the link of how to sign up in the description box beneath this video. Yes. So next I went into do my preservation. Now for my preservation, I measured out my sodium benzoate, and then I also scooped out a portion of my Zobo juice, and I'm going to be adding that sodium benzoate into this portion that I scooped out, not into the whole Zobo juice. No, it's going to give your Zobo a bad taste. So you do it this way. You pour it into this one you scooped out into a jug or into a big bowl. I ended up using a pot at the end of the day. So you pour it, you stir it. You make sure the one in the jug or smaller bowl is having the same taste as the one in the bigger bowl. So if you stirred it and discover it's not having the same taste, you go ahead, you still add more Zobo juice into that smaller bowl or smaller jug. You stir it, you taste it, you keep repeating it until they are both having the same taste. That is the one in the jug and the one in the bigger bowl. That is Zobo juice in the bigger bowl are having the same taste. So I kept doing this, and I ended up doing it in a bigger pot. I'm going to send the pot I did it in later, and the one in the pot and the one in the bigger bowl we're having the same taste. Before I pour them into each other and stirred it well. And the Zobo is warm. This was 4 hours after cooking. You want to do it when the Zobo is this warm, and you want to do it this way so that your Zobo does not have a different or odd or off taste. So after I've done the flavoring and sweetening and preservation, adding the preservative, I then went ahead and allowed this cool completely. Please make sure you stir them very well. Then allow this cook completely uncovered in a cool place where nothing is going to fall into it. Allow it cook completely before I went ahead to pour them into my branded bottles. My branded bottles simply means I already applied my sticker to them. And because I printed my stickers on SAV, it's not going to be affected by moisture or water. It's not going to spoil it. Now, before you pour it into your bottles, after you've added your preservative and your sweeteners and it has cooked completely, you will sieve it again one last time. You make sure you wash your cheese clothes well. Make sure there are no chaff in it. Then you now sieve. The reason why you're sieving again just to be extra sure that there are no particles, no sediments. You sieve it again for the last time. At this stage, your Zobo is already cool for drinking. So you just sieve it for the last time before I pour it into your bottles, your branded and sterilized bottles, and then you seal it. Like I'm going to see the way I'm going to seal it with the cover. You seal it and then you refrigerate. Now, if you want to know the shelf life of this Zobo juice, then you need to check the link in the description box to see the shelf life. Also, if you want to learn how to do my commercial Zobo without preservative, the healthier version, how to make different variation of Zobo Chapman, how to make Zobo tea, how to make Zobo without putting these artificial sweeteners, and my costing, how I sell out, how I brand, then you need to sign up for that Zobo masterclass. It's just 3,000 naira for the first 50 people. After that, the class will go to 15,000 naira. Yes, because I know the worth of this class. Now, this particular recipe are getting on a platter of gold. Trust me, you will not see this kind of recipe on YouTube. Yes, you do that. My OGs to know that. So once I was through filling and sealing like this, I poured water into the bottle, I poured water on the bottle just to wash off any spillage of Zobo drink that must have poured on the bottle while filling. And then I went ahead to refrigerate. Guys, your commercial Zobo is ready. You can sell it, you can, in fact, trust me, this has a very good quality. The taste is a wow. To my new subscribers, once you subscribe, just leave me hi, I am new here, and I will leave you a special virtual hug in my next video. So remember, if you want to get my other Zobo variations, how to make healthier Zobo, you will need to join my masterclass. It's just 3,000 naira for the first 50 people. After that, the class goes to 15,000 naira. Now check the description box beneath this video for the pricing, that is how much I spent in buying everything I bought for this particular Zobo production, and also a link to the detailed recipe. If you ask me questions in the comment section, from your questions I will know if you've read that recipe in the description box. That is, if you've read that recipe via the link in the description box. From your questions I will know. And if you ask the questions I already answered in the written recipe, I'll refer you back to the recipe. So just go ahead and read that recipe. The recipe is very, very detailed, trust me, and it's free. It's premium recipe, is no fail. It is free. In fact, money back guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, come back. I'll come and call your money, guys. So that's all for me for today. Thank you so much for your support. See you in subsequent video. Bye for now.